Greetings fellow Decepticons, Soundblaster1987 here with my new review of Transformers Masterpiece movie series MPM-08 Megatron from a 2007 Transformers live action movie. As you can see here, Lord Megatron is in his weird Cybertronian shrapnel jet mode from a first movie. For size comparison, here he is with the Transformers animated Voyager Cybertronian Megatron, based on the design somewhat. Although obviously very different takes on the concept. Just a quick 360 view. You'll have to forgive the copy of mine that I've got, being tabs are not quite lining up properly, so I haven't quite been able to figure out the transformation, but it is as close as I can get for the time being. So, to transform to robot mode, first disconnect these pieces of the wings from the tail fin section here. Fold these parts in on themselves like so. Disconnect this part from the inside of the wing as well. There's a lot of interconnecting tabs with these wings, so be very careful not to break anything. Fold that section in on itself and back in. Fold the wingtip down. Fold this rubber bit in. Collapse that. And leave that the way it is for now. Same on the other side. Disconnect the lower wing. Fold in. Fold the wingtip down. Rubber bit goes down. Then fold all of these bits in on themselves like so. Fold the rear tail connector strut part of the wing inwards. There's a lot of clearance issues with this figure, so be wary of potential breakage risks. Double hinge the wings in on themselves and leave them like that for now. We'll get back to that later. Next, accordion double hinge the tail assembly over the wings and leave it for now. We'll tighten that up later. Next, come to the rear of the vehicle mode, fold out the knee panels, split the legs open and accordion them outwards like so. Not easy to do this from behind, but bear with me. Close those panels up, open out the feet and heels, flatten everything out so that the figure can now stand. Make sure that everything's tabbed together properly for the legs to stay stabilized. And now that the figure is standing properly, untab the chest plate and arms from the underside of the nose assembly. Bring the chest plate down and into position. Then bring the arms and shoulders outwards like so. Leave those for now while we work on the nose cone and the head. So, split the nose at the top. Long fingernails required here. So, split the nose like so. Then fold everything in on itself. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then bring all of this together in the middle. collapsing all of this in on itself, bringing these panels inwards while you do so. This will allow it all to compact inside the chest. Then rotate these silver rubber panels forwards. And make sure that everything lines up properly with these ridges in the middle of the hollow part of the torso. This is where things get tricky, so bear with me. Once all of that is self-contained, bring the shoulders up. Rotate the ratchets so that everything's facing forwards. Apologies to headphone users for how loud those ratchets are. Then lock all of the shoulder tabs into place. And bring this panel all the way in, connecting everything into place as you do so. Whoops. Transformations on these kinds of figures do not go well with gravity at figures this size, so viewer discretion advised for how this may turn out. So, once everything is properly oriented, make sure that the copper parts of Megatron's collar attach correctly into these groove holes here on the shoulder panels, making sure that both sides lock in at the same time or a shoulder will come loose and the arm will fall apart. Tools such as a thin, flat screwdriver may be necessary here to pry things open again where necessary. This is my first experience with a Michael Bay masterpiece, so mileage may vary. The thing we may need to cut here. Apologies for the jump cut, fellow Decepticons. Sometimes the shoulder panels and the collar cannot coordinate properly, so I had to take a moment to realign them off camera. So, to continue the transformation, first, come to the arms, double hinge this panel up onto the forearm like so. Then unhinge this panel and put that on the underside of the forearm. Then disconnect the elbow from that spike and rotate it so it's facing forward. Unlock the shoulder joint from this spiky panel here. And now you can splay the arms and rotate the hands so that the piece with the copper joint is supposed to be the thumb. Realign that to your liking. Same on the other side. Disconnect the elbow, disconnect the shoulder, bring the rubber part to the back of the forearm, like so. Double hinge this panel here, and realign the hand so that the copper joint is the thumb knuckle. Next, to finish off the backpack, bring the accordioned wing bits together with this tab and slot combo in the middle here, and hold it all together by double hinging the tail section up into place. So, these two tabs on this piece here will go into these two slots on the wing pack to keep it all compacted into place. And that locks the wings on Megatron's back into position. And finally, to complete the robot mode, double hinge this piece on the forehead back to reveal the eyes. And here we have Masterpiece Movie 1 Megatron in robot mode. Oh, that was an ordeal, but well worth it for this robot design, I can tell you. So, for articulation in this mode, Megatron's head can swivel left and right, nod up and down, and there's a bonus accordion extension hinge for looking forward poses. And also his lower jaw can open and close for puppeteered mechanical ventriloquism. Very loud ratchets of the universal shoulders, plus an outward ratchet. Swivel just above the elbow. Loud ratchet of the elbow joint. Various hinges and such like at the fingers. Waist swivel, not part of a transformation, but appreciated nonetheless. Almost forgot to swivel these pieces up and peg them into place on the waist section as the last part of a transformation. Should have done that with the legs really, but never mind. Just so that people don't correct me in the comments. Then, universal hip ratchets as well, with these panels moving outwards to facilitate the leg movement. Swivel just above the knee. Deep ratcheted knee bend, although you've got to be careful not to, sabotage the leg articulation, because of course the shins do split for transformation. Then there's multiple hinges in the kneecap panel as well. Then there's forward and back ankle movement, as well as a very stiff inward tilt for transformation. So, for size comparison, here we have movie masterpiece MPM-08 Megatron with Takara Transformers animated Voyager Cybertronian Megatron. As you can see, the animated design took a few cues from the first movie Megatron, mostly in the head sculpt. Still nowhere near as massive as the masterpiece though, for obvious reasons. So, for gimmicks, in addition to the moving mouth on Megatron's head sculpt here, if you open up the chest, like so, much like how Optimus Prime always has the Matrix of Leadership inside his chest, this version of Megatron has the Allspark cube from the final battle at the end of the first movie, in which Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, shoved the Allspark into Megatron to destroy him. There's an actual Sam figurine holding the Allspark that comes with the Masterpiece Jazz figure, which I'll review at a later time since I don't own it at the time of this recording. Although the Jazz Masterpiece figure does have a feature that is specifically suited to this Megatron figure, for reasons you'll know if you've seen the movie. For other features, there's this sort of dragon head shaped thing that opens up and extends into a giant cannon here. These plugs here are to be used in the place of Megatron's hands, so if I remove one of Megatron's hands here, I can have Megatron wield the gun either with one arm, shockwave style, like so, or with both at once if I take the other hand off. It's a little bit awkward to configure the arms properly for this two-handed mode, but here goes nothing. How terrifying is this? And if that wasn't bad enough, he also comes with this rubber whip thing, which has a plug on one end and a hole at the other. So if you plug the whip into one end, like so, you can then plug the severed hand from that arm onto the other end and have an extended hand flailing about. As well as being a very soft, pliable rubber, there's also a hinge joint at the wrist end, and of course, being on a circular peg, it can rotate as well. So that basically concludes my Masterpiece Megatron MPM-08 review. Join me next time when I take my first look at Kamen Rider on this channel with the Sochaku Henshin figures for Kamen Rider Gatak, Zabi, and Sasord. Until then, till all are one.